2 a.m. stabbings, code blues, panicked families, and very sick kids who were sometimes dying. I used to think the emergency room would be my most stressful job. And I mean, I loved it there. But every day was different. It kept me sharp. It was fast paced. But as much as I thrived in that chaos, it also wore me down. I had kids at home. I had lingering trauma from my time as a police dispatcher, and I started to feel burnout starting to creep in. So in a quest to simplify my life, I discovered minimalism and decluttering because I hated getting home from the emergency department to a messy house. And this actually, I started with my own home, but then before I knew it, I had launched a YouTube channel and a business around helping others do the same. And I did not expect how deeply this would resonate with people, how people would send me messages about how helpful it was and how it actually fixed a lot of their relationship problems and how they could think and relax at home. All of these things were great. And I was really happy to see that I was able to help people to make great change in their lives. However, I was still running a business while working in the ER, and I thought I could handle it all. After all, I had managed life and death situations for a long time. How hard could it be to juggle both? I mean, I was very passionate as a nurse. Turns out it was way harder, and not just because when I was at home doing my nursing job, people weren't feeding me. There was no cafeteria. I had to manage that and my house by myself, plus juggle work. And soon I caught myself falling into a trap. I started adding more and more to my plate. I started a podcast and a blog. I had a compulsion to stay busy, just like in the ER. And any nurse will tell you that nurses do a really bad job of taking breaks. And it's like we just can't not be busy. So I felt stressed and overwhelmed. I thought, you know what? I just need more tools. I need more courses. I need more time. I need to get up at 5 a.m. and stay up late at night. I mean, obviously, we've heard the term burning the candle at both ends, but this was really taking a toll on my mood, on my productivity, on my family, and of course, as my job as a nurse. Time blocking was something I tried, and it was just becoming so much. And instead of simplifying, I was actually layering on complexity. I had multiple organization systems, a different app for every little task. I started making this crazy long to-do list, and it was like my calendar was color-coded like Tetris, with all of the blocks coming down. And it was like I had added in different things for this and this and this. I would try to budget in lunch, but I would forget to eat lunch, and my kids would be like, "What's for dinner?" And I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, is it dinner time?" And I won't lie, there were times where I was late picking them up because I just got so distracted. So I was struggling to find files. Things were stored in all over the place. I was using Google Drive. I was using my computer desktop, my downloads folder, my emails were just an absolute nightmare. My family was hungry, I was frazzled, and I felt more behind than I ever had in the ER. And that is really saying something. And then I realized, Robin, you silly goose, you just turned yourself into a burnt out nurse. And what saved me in the ER, it wasn't adrenaline. In the ER, when someone would come in with an MI, which is a heart attack, we had protocols, we had systems, there was simplicity. We didn't scramble, we didn't try to invent something new on the spot. We had simple things to do to solve a huge problem. We followed a clear, proven process. And that would be getting them on the monitor, starting oxygen, establishing the IV, drawing labs, giving them aspirin, nitro, calling cardiology. It just was all of these things, and you could do it with your eyes closed. Everyone knew what the plan was. We didn't waste time or energy trying to remember what came next. We just acted. The steps were ingrained in us. Nobody was saying wait, where did I store this? Where's that? No. So how could this translate into other areas of my life and my business? It gave clarity, because if that can work to save lives, it can work in my business. Because in my business, It's like I was running a constant code with no protocol and no backup. So when I realized I was just complicating things the way we never would in the ER, I could just strip it all back. I started removing things. I thought, what are things that could go? I'm a minimalist, light person. After all, I had already tackled a lot of things in my house that needed to be decluttered. So what things in my business were not giving me that ROI or serving people the way they could? So I stopped the podcast. I cut out unnecessary tasks. I simplified my systems. I stopped working with certain contractors. It was like decluttering my business the same way I decluttered my home. And I built one clean drag and drop digital hub for everything in my business. So there's this one standard, it's a Notion hub that I built, and it is great. I have lists for everything in there. My database for Instagram is sitting right there. No more, where did I save that client document? Because I also have it linked to my G Drive. No more digging through 37 versions of the same Canva graphic. And at home, I had already some routines to keep the house clean, but I changed a lot of things, again, to simplify. I created a weekly reset. And not waking up on a Monday morning to a messy desk was great because I ended every Friday making sure I was set up for success. I also started every Monday with a meal plan and with some of the food prepped in the kitchen. Our calendar was no longer chaotic because everybody was on the same page. And now I manage everything: clients, offers, content, calendar, all on that one Notion dashboard. It's like a command center for my brain. And if my brain finally had labels, tabs, and a calm, soothing color palette, that is, because it's a gorgeous little dashboard. And my Google Drive, it is prettier than a Pinterest pantry, and it is more organized than a home edit bookshelf. And as much as I absolutely loved nursing, like, let me tell you, when I got my first name tag, I was jumping up and down with joy. My supervisor was laughing at me because it said Robin, RN, and I loved it. But streamlining my business gave me something I hadn't in years. It gave me mental space, time to think, breathe, to be present. And I realized I could help more people doing my online business. So I stepped back from nursing permanently, and now I help women do the same to clear the chaos from their homes and their businesses to finally create systems that support their life. And just like that, everything changed. More clarity, better results, and actual work-life balance. I left behind the long shifts, the endless multitasking, and the idea that more was the answer in both situations. And now I embrace a much simpler and more sustainable way of running my business. The biggest lesson I learned, though, success does not come from piling more onto your plate. It comes from removing what is blocking your view of what truly matters. And it is about doing less, creating space so you can live and work with peace and clarity. And I have a real tip for you about fixing your systems, because this is one of the best things you can do to make your business run smoother. And that is getting clear on where things are breaking down. And most of the time, this actually starts with your digital world, your inbox, your files, your endless tabs, and your scattered to-dos. Because if your brain is constantly searching for things, switching gears, or trying to remember where you saved that file, you're just not just disorganized, you're drained. It just takes forever to get started, and we lose track. So I actually have a digital reset checklist that you can download for free every Friday. You start it. No matter how frazzled you feel, doing this checklist will get you in the right direction very quickly. Simple, doable way to clear the digital chaos and to give your brain some breathing room. And hey, if you're still in your job while building your business, please hear this. You're not behind. You are building something brave. You're managing all the things. Remove some of them, please. But every system you put in place is a step toward the freedom that you're creating. And this part right here is the bridge. So stay tidy and mighty. I hope something great happens for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.